I am so excited to be here with Claudia Witticke and talk about her amazing launch. This was her first launch, right?
Yes, it was. Thank you for having me, Sigrun.
So you have sewing classes, and until recently, they were all offline. And then you couldn't do them anymore.
Yes,
What
that's right.
happened and how did that feel?
Um, at the beginning, it was okay. I wasn't allowed doing sewing classes anymore from the beginning of March
Mm.
2020 on. So at the beginning, it was okay because it was just like a short holiday, and there was still my shop running, and we were still producing some things, so that was okay. But then I had to close the shop too, and then we weren't allowed to produce anymore. So of course there were no income anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm also in charge for my employee. So I had decided to do something about it. And there were also people, they wanted still learning how to do stuff and things like that, and would like to improve, especially in the time when they were staying home during Corona. So there was definitely something to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And a little bit in the beginning, like, oh, okay, I have to close, but then, oh, I really, it's closed and I can't
Yeah,
do it. Yeah.
yeah. Since here in Italy, production were also closed.
Yeah.
So there were suddenly no income anymore,
Yeah.
not 1 cent anymore. So I had to do
Did,
something.
but it feels because you feels it feels that you're so positive, Claudia. Did you just feel that you'll figure this out and it would all work out, or were there moments of despair and thinking like, oh, this is not going to go well?
Well, of course, there were moments of despair where I was, how should I figure out it? And will my shop survive this period? But then I decided to believe in the universe and say, if I go ahead and do something, there will be a way. I
Yeah.
don't know which one and how does it work, but I was sure it will figure out.
Yeah.
So I just decided to go ahead
Yeah.
and do
So,
something.
yeah, and you did something and you decided to join one of our programs, which we called at that time Online Turnaround. Now we renamed it to SOMBA Accelerator. And you just came in and we started with creating a short term offer. I taught you guys how to basically go quickly out there without a sales page or a launch or anything. And you right away took that opportunity and went along. What happened?
Yeah. So I wrote that amazing offer for my customers I had,
Uh-huh.
and I put it on my website. Just no proper landing page, just put it, just a copy out there,
Yeah.
and wrote an email to all my customers and put it on my Facebook page and told them about the possibilities and did some discovery calls, not
Uh-huh.
many, but some. And suddenly there were 10 subscribers. So,
You immediately sold
um,
10 spots.
yes, in 2 or 3 days. So
Fabulous.
your program had already paid off, and
That is
and I was really
fantastic.
happy about it
Yeah.
because it gave me that self-confidence that I can do it.
Yeah.
And if I
Yeah.
found once participant, I will do in future too. So, and I suddenly know there would be a way.
Yeah.
And yeah,
You had a
that was,
proof of concept within 3 days. You made the money back in the investment that you made,
yes,
and the program had barely started. And
yes,
then you learned how to do a proper launch. How did that go?
yes. um, it was an amazing time with a lot of emotions and ups and downs. And I had to learn all this technical stuff from being totally offline. And so it was quite a lot of work. I did the homeschooling with the kids, running the online shop, and in the evenings I did all the tasks you gave us, and I definitely would like to do a proper launch. So I managed to get 900 sign-ups for the webinar, which was amazing.
Amazing.
Yes, and I was getting really nervous about the webinar. And then the webinar didn't went well because of lots of crazy things happening that evening. There was a big thunderstorm, so a couple of times the internet crashed, and there were some people in the webinar not being happy with herself and unsatisfied, and they started like a shitstorm during the webinar, and so there started a huge discussion. And
so basically everything that people are afraid will happen in a webinar happened to you on your first webinar. So it's good, it's done.
Yes. And I survived.
And you survived, and you're alive, and you're still here, and I'm talking to you. So that's a good lesson for anyone who's worried. It all happened to you, and it was probably horrible in the moment, but what did you then do?
I stayed focused during the webinar and decided not to focus on that people messing around, and did the whole thing. And interesting was that all people stayed during the webinar until the end. About 450 people stayed until the end.
So you had a 50% show up rate, which is already amazing. Another amazing thing. And they stayed until the end, despite internet going out and some weird people making a shit show. That's amazing.
Yeah. So, and I did make my first sales during the webinar, even though I was really happy about it. But after the webinar, I was, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to talk to people who are so unsatisfied, so annoying. And I was really, really down. And it was like, the webinar was on a Thursday, and on that Friday, I did do nothing. I was just like, I don't want to get up and go out there. But then there were all these lovely people writing me, from other people from the webinar and the group, your group from the program. They were so supportive, and then I decided, okay, I go and stand up and go for the open card period and do my best and sell as much as I can. And then I go there and did it. So, and I was really happy. I sold 17 spots for really high price for sewing classes. So, and I was really, really happy about this. And I was so proud of mine that I managed to get up and stand up and go ahead.
Yeah.
Just don't stay in bed and say, oh no, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah, it's so easy to give up. The harder thing is to actually stand up and say, no, I'm doing this. Yeah. And you did the right thing. You gave yourself a one-day break where you felt sorry for yourself.
Yeah, I definitely needed this.
And then you got up and said, let's do it. So 17 spots, high price. What does that mean in terms of revenue?
That means overall, I had about 15,000 euros revenue from all classes I sold. And I also sold and upsells and downsells. I made a bit more than 15,000 euros. Yes.
Wow.
In 10 weeks.
That is great. And is that anything in relation what you were expecting?
No, my hope was I would make back the money for the program.
Okay, that you had already made that back in 3 days.
Yeah. So, and then was my goal goal to go ahead and make a proper launch and get some money to invest in my company to grow. That was my goal, but I never ever dreamed that I would make a 5-figure launch in my first proper launch. So I was really, really happy about this.
Yeah, fantastic. And since then, you have continued. Have you launched again, or are you currently in a launch?
I haven't launched again yet, but I'm currently in a launch. So during summer, there are not so many sewing classes, and I need some time to get organized again after Corona. So I got a proper freebie during the summer, and I managed to double my email list. And so I'm in the middle of the launch now.
Yeah, that's exciting. And what is your goal now? Now you've already done a launch, 5-figure launch. What's your next goal?
My next goal, I would love to have an overall of 100 participants in all classes during the fall.
Mm-hmm.
And in figures, I'm not sure yet because I have some cooperation with another fabric store. So I definitely hope to double the revenue. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So a 30K launch is coming up.
I hope so, yes. I'm doing my best.
I know
there
you
are
are.
already more than 50 people on the waiting list. So they're just waiting to get something.
So
how
is your business going to look like moving forward? The online versus offline. Now you've completely gone online and you've shown yourself and anybody else, and also those who are listening or watching, that you can easily have a 6-figure business selling sewing classes online. But how do you envision your business?
My vision is to combine this online business with my local fabric store, because I'm living in a tiny village and we just need these local stores to survive and for the people out here. And I would love to combine this. And I saw this works really, really well. And my mission is to also enable young mothers to take part in sewing classes who can't go away during the evening, or especially here in the mountains, live in like a tiny village far from the next sewing class. So that's my mission, that all these lovely women can take part in a sewing class. And I would love to build up more sewing classes, more different topics. So, and hopefully next year I get some other trainers. So that's what I would love to do. Yeah.
Oh.
But I have to fix that internet problem.
Yeah, you have an internet problem with the location you're in. You're in North Italy. They speak German where you live, or
German, yeah.
Type of German.
Type of German, yeah.
Type of German, yeah. And the internet is not good, but otherwise you would like to stay there, help the location, or be location dependent in some ways, and then have your online courses. And it sounds like you are wanting to build an academy online.
Yeah, that is a dream of mine, but I need some time. My kids are still not grown up, so they still need me. But I think I'm in a good way. There are many ideas.
Yeah.
And I have a great, amazing employee who works with me very closely. And she's doing great things. And I think there's coming a lot. Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm staying behind the workers around here who installed a proper internet right now.
So you are, advocating for better internet and saying,
Yes.
hey, I have a important business, good for, the local economy, bring a good internet.
Yes, they are already working on here, but it's not as easy because we are surrounded by a lot of mountains. So they are all above 2,000 meters high. So yeah, it's a bit tricky.
It's a bit tricky, but I love that you are advocating for the local community, the local economy, and at the same time, you're inspiring other women around the world that hear that you can actually do this from anywhere in the world and in any type of industry. Because as you said, sewing online courses are typically low priced, but you have raised your price too.
Yes, I have. I raised my prices about between 3 and 4 times a normal sewing class. Yeah.
Just this year, during a recession.
Just this year, yes.
Yeah.
And you encouraged me to do this. And it feels good. It really feels good, and it feels right. And it wasn't that hard to explain these prices to my former clients, and they enjoy the service, and they love that they get all the fabric and the material they need. I include, so they really love it. So, and they are willing to pay that price.
Yeah.
And they love the personal support, and it wasn't that hard. And I imagine,
Yeah, that's a good inspiration for someone, because these doubts tend to come up all the time before you actually do it. And then in hindsight, you're like, oh, that wasn't that hard.
Yeah. And it's, and for all participants, it's, they are so much more motivated if they pay a bit more. And it keeps the group a bit tinier. So I had a really great engagement between the participants, and they started talking about each other and helping out each other. So it was really, really great. And I only want to work with motivated people. I don't want to work with people who are always moaning and blame others for their problems. And I don't want to have these people. So that's a good way.
It's a self-selecting thing by raising your prices. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Claudia, I am sure you're going to make your academy not just a dream, but a reality sooner than later. And you are inspiring a lot of women, and also your children and other children, that they can go after their dreams too. So thank you for sharing your story, Claudia, and I wish you all the best for the launch you're in right now.
Thank you, Sigrun. Thank you so much.